Hi guys, it's Beth from Riverview Dog Grooming. I'm following the government's advice this week regarding the coronavirus. So because pet grooming is a non-essential business, I've had to close for 3 weeks. So I'm hoping to be back open by the 14th of April. Anybody I've not contacted yet, I'll be in touch shortly. We'll move your appointments about. So basically the plan is for the next 3 weeks I'm going to be filming with Tamilla Photography a couple of videos, literally just helping you at home, keeping up, maintaining your dog's coats. So today I thought we would start with, well, the absolute basics of what you should be doing in between grooming appointments, which is brushing the coat. So I've got a range of tools in front of me that I'm going to be using. I will demonstrate them later using my dog model Fizz. As everybody knows, there is the logo of Riverview Dog Grooming. Okay, so we're going to start with the slicker brush. So you can get 2 different slicker brushes. One has got balls on the pins. I find this one is great to start with. For either puppies, dogs that don't really like being brushed. So I would just start with, I call it line brushing. So you basically find a section on your dog that you want to start with, maybe an area that they're quite happy for you to work on. So you would hold the coat up with one hand, have your slicker brush in the other hand, and just gently go down to the skin. I find the ones with balls on the pins are a lot nicer than the ones without, because these can be a little bit too harsh on the skin. However, if you're using it on a dog that's completely used to being brushed and absolutely will 100% tolerate it, then I always say go for it, use what they'll tolerate. And then once you've brushed all the coat all over completely, even areas that you might even miss, like underneath the ears, the armpits, chest, even the base of the tail is another common area that most people miss. I would go over with a comb. So I tend to like the ones that are, I think they're called a coarse comb, this one. So the teeth are a lot wider than the ones where they're quite spaced together. So you basically do the same as what you did with your slicker brush, go over the coat. You might find a couple of little knots, which usually is what this comb is for, is to find those knots. Then I would say if you do find any knots at all, you can use what I would call Dematting Spray. It's the only spray that I actually find does what it says in the name. So basically all you need to do is make sure you've got a dry coat, find the mat, give the bottle a good shake first, spray it on the mat a couple of times, like maybe 1 or 2 sprays, then rub it in with your fingers really nicely, give it a little brush with the slicker brush, and then you should be able to just tease it out. If it really won't come out, then just leave it, because when you bring them to me, I'll just clip them out. Then the other tools I want to explain are the pin brush. It's literally the same as a slicker brush, just not as harsh, but I do prefer the slicker brush. In my opinion, it is a better tool than the pin brush. It seems to get a lot deeper into the coat. So other tools here, there's an Undercoat Rake. I find this particularly useful for dogs like my own Fizz. She's a double-coated breed. So you can also use this, some doodles such as Labradoodles who are quite wiry coated, or if they tend to drop a lot of hair, this is really good to get in and just completely rake out the undercoat, any loose hair. It's really, really good tool, that, especially you'll find when they're molting in summer, winter, they tend to drop the coat and grow in a new coat. So I find that particularly useful. Or the other tool you can use, I'm not sure if you can quite see it in the camera, I've got a blaster. So I would only recommend using these if your dog will tolerate it. A lot of dogs are quite scared of it, so don't use it if they are. Always use it on the lowest setting, also the lowest heat as well, because you can burn them if it is on the high heat. So basically you can use it outside. If you use it inside, you'll end up covered in hair everywhere. So if you can do it outside, give them a good blast every couple of days just to help lodge all that hair. Give them a really good brush over with the slicker again, and then I would go with the undercoat. That really, really helps. I've also got a rubber curry brush. So this is really good for dogs like Labradors, Staffordshire Bull Terriers, smooth coat Jack Russells, anything that's got a smooth coat, even like Dalmatians as well, these are really, really good for it. It really gets on the coat and it does remove quite a good amount of hair. Again, the blaster is quite good for those breeds as well. The other thing I was going to say as well, I see a lot of people recommending the FURminator. My personal opinion is no, I wouldn't. Just because I've seen a lot of people really go for it brushing their dogs, and it does tend to cut the coat, it really damages the coat and then it just doesn't grow back properly. And a lot of dogs do end up with skin conditions if this does happen. So I would highly recommend the tools that I have already explained in the video. If anybody has any questions at all, just put them in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them. Or even I'm available on the phone if you need to contact me as well. I can answer any questions you like. We hope you enjoyed this video and keep your eyes out on all the socials for the next video. Our next video will be about distraction techniques, so that'll be for puppies and dogs that don't really enjoy being brushed. So you can drop us a comment or give us a shout if you need to.